Okay, so we're going to write and solve an equation from a real-world situation. This is why we do math. We try to relate it to real-world scenarios. So we want to define a variable, pick a letter for something, write out an equation, and then solve it and make sure our answer makes sense, right? We've done it. Tale as old as time. The length of a rectangle is 6 inches more than its width. The perimeter of the rectangle is 24 inches. What is the length of the rectangle? I think problems like these, I personally find it easier to actually draw out the rectangle. Now when it says to define one variable in terms of another, you'll see, like, let's call this the length and the width. Okay, great. It says that the length is 6 inches more than its width. So we want to change the length because we can't solve an equation right now with two different variables. So we're going to try to get them into the same variable. Either use width for both of them or like length for both of them, and then kind of adjust. So if it says that the length is 6 inches more than its width, we could change out this length and say, well, it's 6 more than the width. So like the width plus 6. Whoa, okay. Now we got all widths, baby. Now remember, perimeters, you add up all of the sides. When you're dealing with rectangles, there's a formula where you could say the perimeter is 2 times the length plus width. However, it's almost just easier to add up the 4 sides. If you know the left side is W, the width, that means the right side is W. If you know the bottom is W plus 6, top is W plus 6. We're going to add all these up to get the perimeter of 24 inches. So let's go ahead and combine our like terms here. If we're adding W plus 6 plus W plus W plus 6 plus W, let's add the W's. W plus W plus W plus W is 4W. The other stuff, 6 plus 6 is 12. So 4W plus 12 equals that perimeter, that 24 that they told us. Now this is a pretty easy equation to solve once you're set up. We're going to subtract the 12 from both sides. 4W equals 12. And then you know we're going to have to divide it by the 4. And we get W equals 3. Now this is a word problem, so we're going to want to answer what it's asking. It says, what's the length of the rectangle? Ooh, that's tricky. We solved W equals 3, so we know that the width is 3 inches, but it's asking about the length, and the length is 6 inches more than that. So you could say 3 plus 6. So the length is 3 plus 6 is 9, so 9 inches. Look at that. Now, again, check to make sure your answer makes sense. If the widths are 3 and the length is 9, this should add up to 24 if we did it correctly. 3 plus 9 is 12, plus 3 is 15, plus 9 is 24. Oh, we did it! Good job! And usually it would say, like, find the dimensions of the rectangle. So you'd be like, the length is 9 inches and the width is 3 inches. But all they were asking us for is the length. Hey, let's try another. Oh, you try this one. Whoa. The width of a rectangle is 2 centimeters less than its length. The perimeter of the rectangle is 16 centimeters. What is the length of the rectangle? Why don't you go ahead and try this out? Pause, check back in as needed, but I'm going to start doing it here. So if this is the length, the width would be 2 less than that, so we could say it's the length minus 2. And the perimeter is 16. So if we were to set up an equation, we have 4L's, -2 and -2 would be minus 4 equals 16. We're going to solve that. Plus 4, 4L equals 20. And then we'll go ahead and divide by 4. And our length will be 5, and this was centimeters. What is the length? And that's all they're asking for. The length is 5 centimeters. If they were asking for the width, it would just be 5 minus 2, which is 3. Now, if you want, you can add those all up. Make sure it's 16. 3 plus 3 is 6. 5 plus 5 is 10. 6 plus 10, 16. We're good to go. We are good to go. All right, we got these consecutive integer problems. I'll show you 2 ways to do it. Guarantee you're going to like the second way, but the proper way is the first way. The sum of 3 consecutive integers is 147. Find the integers. So consecutive integers are just numbers in a row. Integers don't have decimals, so it could be like -4, -3, -2. Those are integers right in a row. Or it could be 17, 18, 19. Now, we don't know the integers that we're looking for here. So we have to put in like a variable here. So let's say our first unknown is x. The second one is 1 higher than that. So the way we're going to represent that is like x plus 1. And then the third one is 2 higher than that first one. So it'd be x plus 2. So that's how we're going to represent 3 consecutive integers. The first one would be x. You don't need to put it in parentheses. We're just going to on this one. The second mysterious one would be x plus 1. And that third one would be x plus 2. These are our 3 consecutive integers. It says the sum of them, adding them up, came out to 147. So now we need to solve this equation. Combining our like terms, x plus x plus x is 3x. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3x plus 3 equals 147. We'll go ahead and subtract 3. Why not? Let's get wild. 3x equals 144. And then we'll divide it by 3. 144 divided by 3, I think, is 36. Let me double check that. 144 divided by 3. Oh, 48. What am I talking about? 36 times 3 is 108. 48. Whew, that's embarrassing. Now, it's asking what are the 3 consecutive integers. Our lowest one is 48. The next one would be 48 plus 1, and then 48 plus 2. Now, 48, great. 48 plus 1, 49. 48 plus 2, 50. Those are our 3 consecutive integers. You should add them up and make sure it gives you 147. 48 plus 49 plus 50. 147, great. That's the proper way that you should do this problem. Here's the improper way. We're looking for 3 numbers, right? We know that they have to add up to 147. All we have to do is 147 divided by 3, and it'll give us the middle number. 147 divided by 3 is 49. And then you just need to go to the one bigger, one smaller. 48, 49, 50. It's way faster, right? But we should do it the proper way. That's the way we're going to do it in here. But if this was on like the SAT, ACT, and you had a problem like that, that's the fastest way that I know of. All right, now this one's a little trickier because this one's asking for 3 consecutive even integers. So that could be like 8, 10, and 12. But again, we're calling this our mystery number, x. This one, if it's consecutive even, the next one is 2 higher. So it would be like x plus 2. And then 12 would be 4 higher than the original. So if it's like just consecutive integers, you would say x, x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3. But if it's like consecutive even or consecutive odd, you have to do x, x plus 2, x plus 4, x plus 6, x plus 8. So we're going to say x plus the x plus 2 plus the x plus 4. These are our 3 consecutive even numbers, and it comes out to 42. So combining our like terms, x plus x is 3x, 2 plus 4 is 6, 3x plus 6 equals 42. We'll go ahead and subtract that 6. Why not? Let's get a little crazy. 3x equals 36. And then we'll divide it by 3. And we get x equals 12. Now that's the lowest even number. Then we got to do 12. Here's 12 plus 2, which is 14. And here would be 12 plus 4, which is 16. These should be our 3 consecutive even integers that add up to 42. Let me double check that. 12 plus 14 plus 16. 42. Fantastic. Now, if you're thinking the lazy way, remember we're looking for 3 numbers. So you could take 42, divide it by 3, and it'll give us the middle number. 42 divided by 3 is 14. So then you would just go 1 lower, 1 higher. But we're doing even numbers. So the even number lower than 14 is 12. Higher than 14 is 16.
Oh my gosh, it worked. I can't believe it.
Now this one, you can't do the shortcut trick. Well, kinda. I'll show you how you could do it. But I want you to actually try this out. And this is the last problem. 4 consecutive odd numbers is 64. What are they? Pause it, try it out. Give it a whirl. All right, so the odd ones are going to go up by 2. So we could say x, the next one's x plus 2, then x plus 4, and x plus 6. Comes out to 64. Our x's, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 6 is 12. 4x plus 12 is 64. We could subtract the 12. 4x equals 52. And then we'll divide by 4. There's 52 cards in a deck. There's 4 suits. Each suit has 13 cards in it. So our lowest number would be 13. This one's going to be 13 plus 2. 13 plus 4, 13 plus 6. So we have 13. 13 plus 2 is 15. 13 plus 4 is 17. 13 plus 6 is 19. These should be our 4 consecutive numbers. Let's see. 13 plus 15 plus 17 plus 19, 64. Yes! Now, if you were to do this the shortcut way, we're looking for 4 numbers here. And when we were looking for 3, it gave us the middle value. There's no middle when you have 4. So when we divide it by 4, it'll give us this number right here. Now, 64 divided by 4 is 16. We're looking for odd integers. So 16 is not odd, and it's right in the middle. So what's the odd number just below 16? 15. Just above 16, 17. And then you can go to the next odd ones, 19, 13. So there is a way. Wouldn't necessarily recommend that way for these type of problems. I think that's it for the notes. We did it. It's all done.